and it's all about the heist and how two guys stole some artifacts, and when they stole the artifacts they tried to sell them to this art guy in Acapulco. Sí.
Por favor, no puede grabar arriba de la explanada ya que es propiedad federal.
Sí.
Necesitaría un permiso para grabar para que no aparezca la fachada del museo.
Buenos dias, good morning. I am here in Mexico City, and today I want to explore a certain area of Mexico City. That would be the historic Central District. So the center where the famous square is, Zocalo, and also make my way into the areas of La Condesa, Roma, and maybe Polanco and Chapultepec. I believe that's how you pronounce all those places. But first, I need to get there, and I am currently in Coyoacán. I've taken the last 4 days just to kind of explore, get used to the area. Mexico City is so big, it's so overwhelming, and it's hard to really understand where I'm going and how to use the public transport. But today I want to adventure out to that historic center district and see what it's like. But first I stopped at a cafe. I got some pastry, and it's called a Queso Philadelphia. I have no idea what it is, but I'm gonna try it and see how it tastes. All right, so here we have it, the Queso Philadelphia. Let's see how this tastes. Cheers. It's like a cheesecake, or cheese Danish, I mean. Lots of flavor in there. I believe I paid 30 pesos for it, so maybe $1.50 or something like that. I'm dropping it everywhere already. It's alright, because I'm gonna eat more today. Pretty good, nice and sweet. It'll go good with the coffee. Alright, let's head to the Center District, and I'll see you when I get there. Made it here to the center, the historic center with the square. Now in this area you have a lot going on. Yeah, there's just everything around me. Here is the Templo Mayor, so it's like old ruins that are within the city. Part of it is an outdoor museum, and another part is an indoor museum. So on the way here, coming to the center, I noticed on the metro line that I was on, there's actually a section for just women only. So there's a couple carts where just the women are allowed to sit, and then the rest of them are pretty mixed. That I didn't know, and I was standing in the wrong spot, and the policeman had to tell me, hey, go over here a little bit. I thought that was pretty interesting, but the metro definitely got really crowded, lots of people, and now I'm excited to explore this historic center district. So I just left the main square, Zocalo, over there. Now I saw the National Building, or the National Palace, and that was pretty barricaded off with some fencing, but I saw people going down along the side where you probably could see some other things. I didn't want to go into the building or go into the cathedral that was there, but I really just wanted to see it from the outside and get an idea of how big that square was. And it's quite huge. That Mexican flag really sits in the middle and it waves, and it's very different than, you know, any other square in the world where the other squares have monuments and stuff. But now I'm walking towards Palacio de Bellas Artes, and as I was walking down here I saw this building where you can really see how Mexico City is being affected by the city sinking. So one thing that is true about Mexico City, if you don't already know, is that it is known as a sinking city. So Mexico City was built on top of a lake. I don't know how that was possible, but it was done. And underneath Mexico City are very large aquifers, which is basically where the water sits, the fresh water underneath our earth. And you know, over time, the city has been slowly sinking down. And some say in some places it is seen as about 20 inches per year. So now that's pretty big. That's probably what, like a third of a meter or something. Now that's a big drop down. In that building I just saw, you can really see it. One side of it was totally sunken into the concrete, while the other side was still fully up above ground level. Quite an interesting thing to see. Even think about how something like that can happen. Just made it over here to Palacio de Bellas Artes, so the Palace of Beautiful Arts, and there's like a demonstration happening outside. I'm not sure what they're like protesting, but they seem pretty excited and to get their message across, but it's quite loud, quite a little bit annoying. I keep seeing something that says solution. I don't know, maybe they're looking for a solution or something, but anyways, let's admire this beautiful building here and the art, and then that Latino Tower that sits right next to us. Well, I just popped into a local Starbucks here in Mexico City to get a vanilla cold brew, and I only did it because I wanted to see what the price of cold brew is here in Mexico, as I love to compare the prices around the world. And I paid 57 pesos for this, so it's like maybe $2.50. $2.50 is still pretty good, you know. It's $5 or so in the US, so it's a bargain for myself, and I can enjoy a little coffee today. The only coffee I'll have, as I haven't been drinking coffee. It's been nice to kind of take a break from it. So as I continue to walk down the streets here of Mexico City and in the center district that I am, I want to say, you know, Mexico City has a similar feel to New York City. It is very big, very open. There's lots of buildings around you, tall buildings, modern, some that are older, made of like brick and stone, and overall I just really feel the same feeling I have when I go to New York City. It feels so similar. There's people selling things everywhere, there's noise, there's traffic, there's lots of pedestrians. I think this is as close to New York City as I could probably get. So as you can probably tell, there's no real plan to today's day. Today I just really wanted to get out, walk around, and see the city on foot, with no like assigned plans of like doing a tour or anything, but just to really walk, feel the atmosphere, see what life is like. It's the best way to kind of adjust to a city, I think. Now, some construction happening over here. They're taking down a building, but right now we're walking into the Roma Norte area, and I think I'd like to spend the remainder of today in this area, Condesa, and also Polanco, and then check out that big park that's right in between called Chapultepec, I think. Something like that. So let's continue with this Mexico City vlog. Oh, we got some cool things coming up here. Let's check out some of the artwork. Guys are creating a mural right here. Not sure what it's about, but we got a MasterCard logo, a baby stroller, baby bottle, some beach toys, coffee. Pretty cool. Continuing the walk here, and on my right we've made it to the Angel of Independence monument here, and it basically commemorates the independence of Mexico with a nice, maybe golden angel sitting at the top. Very, very famous, iconic landmark here in Mexico. And I've been walking for about an hour, and I'm still not even to the Polanco area. This is like the Roma Norte area, I believe. Man, it is just so overwhelming how big Mexico City is. You just walk and walk and walk. I probably should have rented a bike or hopped on some public transportation, but I didn't. Anyways, we're gonna keep going and head to the Polanco area. So I've noticed something here as I'm walking down the streets of Mexico City. Each tree has a number, 673. Also, there are these light posts or poles along the street too, like here, and it also has a number. And I feel like this is something to do with identification, to be able to distinguish where you are if you need help. So if you call for emergency or something, I suppose if you just name a number of a tree, they'll be able to locate you quickly. Now, literally every tree here has a number. 1, 2, 3. It's so strange, but also at the same time, such a great idea, I think. All right, have just entered the park here called Chalputepec. Yeah, Chapultepec, I believe. And it's pretty big. It's like a big green area within the main area here. And on one side of it, we have like a national museum. And the museum is of anthropology. So I might check that out because I heard it's one of the best museums here to see. And then also a little ways away, there's a place called the Soumaya, I believe. It's another museum. But this museum is constructed in a way where it's very fancy. So I might go see that one as well, as that one is free. But first I want to check out this park because it's very relaxing. It looks very chill. People are just hanging out together, and there's a lot of little artwork displays, so you can check those out as well. Like here, got like a beetle or something. Pretty cool. Huh? Well, that was the most confusing bathroom experience. Put the coin in and the turnstile doesn't move, so apparently you put the money in and then she's got to open a door for you. I was like, what do I do? And she was just staring at me. Buenos dias, good morning, it's the next day. Yesterday I ran into a little bump in the road. My camera ran out of memory and my phone started dying, so I needed to end the day there. I didn't go to the museum because I was afraid without phone battery I would probably not have any idea on how to get back to my Airbnb, as the public transportation here in Mexico City is quite confusing. So anyways, today I've just came back to the Polanco neighborhood, and I am going to get a coffee, and then we're gonna head to the Anthropology Museum and possibly another museum today called Soumaya. So these are two of the most well-known and most recommended museums here in Mexico City. And yeah, first I need some coffee. Haven't had any today, and need to get the brain power rolling and get the day going. So let's go. And yesterday the camera battery ran out of memory right when I got into the park, the Chapultepec Park here in this area, and I sat down for some quick tacos, and as I sat down, that's when the memory went out. So I did enjoy two nice tacos yesterday. One was El Pastor, my favorite, and another one was like a different meat with some napoles. So those are like that green cactus looking plant, and they were phenomenal. It was 50 pesos for the two tacos, and yeah, After that, I turned around, went home, and that was it. Unfortunately, running out of memory on my SD card was totally my fault. I was supposed to reformat the card after I pulled off all the footage from the previous travel, and I never did that, so I only had about 10 minutes left of footage that I could put on the SD card. But I totally reformatted the card now, so I have a few hours worth. I do have a backup SD card, but I always forget to take it with me and to bring it in case. But we are good. We are ready to go. Alright, we got the iced coffee here. Nice little small iced coffee with some milk. Paid 43 pesos for that, so it's about $2, a little bit more. Let's try it out. Not very cold, but strong. I used espresso, so it's more of like a iced latte. I haven't had an iced latte in quite some time. So over the past like week and a half, I haven't had a lot of coffee, especially when I was sick. When I was feeling really under the weather, I just decided not to drink coffee to try to let my body recuperate its energy naturally. And now drinking coffee, it's like I have a half a coffee and man, it hits me hard like a freaking energizing bunny. Anyways, we're gonna head to the park here where the museum is. The museum's right on the outside of the park. And oh, look at that. Nice old car right there. We're gonna head into the park and then go into the museum. I'm not sure how much the museum is. I don't imagine it being more than $8-10 or something like that. Now normally, I'm not a big museum person, but this place seems really cool. I was watching a movie about this museum. There's an old film. I'll tell you when we get there. Oh my God, I'm just walking through the park here and there are massive groups of dogs with people. I think these people, like it's their job to walk dogs and take care of them all day. But there's just like one person with 10 dogs or, you know, 2 people with maybe 15 dogs. And they're big dogs, small dogs, and they all seem so well behaved. They're just hanging out together, relaxing. It's pretty cool. Oh, whoa. There's people up on a thing like I seen when I was in Playa del Carmen. Interesting. Alright, I've made it. I am here at the Anthropology Museum. It's behind me. I just need to finish my coffee before I can go inside. And then we can get in there. I can see how much it costs and really begin to explore this place. But before I go in there, I want to tell you a couple of things. There was a robbery that happened here at this museum, I think maybe back in 1980s. And basically some really popular artifacts were stolen, and then they made a movie about it. There's a Mexican movie called Museo, which means museum, and it's all about the heist and how 2 guys stole some artifacts, and when they stole the artifacts, they tried to sell them to this art guy in Acapulco. Oh. Ah, sí.
Por favor, no puede grabar arriba de la explanada ya que es propiedad federal.
Sí.
Necesitaría un permiso para grabar.
Well, some police officer just came up to me and told me I need permission to film. So I'm gonna head in there and see if I can get permission to film. We'll see how that goes. Well, I've just entered the museum. It was 85 pesos, I think, as an international person, you know, a foreigner. 85 pesos, a little more than $4. It's not so bad. And they also give you a map so you can figure out how to go. No one said anything about paying any extra price or getting a permission for filming, so I'm gonna try to film and see what happens. But on this list, there are like 23 exhibits, so there's a lot to see. And we're gonna start from the bottom at number 1. Well, room number 1 was all about the introduction of anthropology, so how Homo sapiens pretty much became and how they developed and began to grow from there. Now, a lot of the information I've already noticed is in Spanish mostly. There's a few English texts, so it's a little bit difficult to read some of the stuff, but you kind of have to pick and choose what you want to see, what you want to look at in detail. So now I'm going to head into Populating the Americas, room number 2. So it turns out that the rooms just kind of combine each other, so you end up walking through many rooms at one part, and I mean many exhibitions at once. So I've already done like 6, and so far Mexico was the most cool, or the coolest, and now I'm about to head into Oaxaca, which should be really cool, as Oaxaca is a very cool place. Just finished the ground floor, which is the archaeology halls, and now the upper floor is the ethnographia halls. I don't really know what it means, but on this floor there's indigenous groups and jungle and highland and about the landscapes, I think. So you can check that out. All right, it is now a little after 2 o'clock, about 2:15, 2:30, and I have left the Anthropology Museum. I spent maybe an hour and 15 minutes or so. I think I spent less time than most people probably do. One section of it was closed, so that's about like a fourth of it was closed, maybe under renovation or something. But to sum it up, there is a lot of information in there, a lot of artifacts, and it's just so much to take in. It's so overwhelming, and if you really want to sit there and read every little thing, you can. Now, a fair amount of it is in English, and a fair amount of it is, well, all of it's in Spanish, of course, because it's in Mexico, but there are some artifacts and some pieces that are only displayed in Spanish, so if you want to read about them, you need to know Spanish. There were several people in there with a guide, so the guide was telling them about different things and probably showing them the most important things. So maybe having a guide is definitely helpful, as you'll use your time wisely and see the things that are most necessary. But overall, man, there's just so much. Coming here to the museum, you really have to choose what you would like to see. So, there's a lot of pottery, there's a lot of, rock formation sculptures, however you describe them. artwork like murals and canvases and just so much. And it was really difficult to say, okay, I want to stop and look at this. For me, I really enjoyed looking at the sculptures that were made out of stone, that were like the people and the faces. And I also liked looking at the artwork and the murals. I thought that was kind of the coolest to me. Now the pottery doesn't really attract me so much. It is really cool. There's a lot of it. And there's a lot of like remains of different people from all different ancient times. So that's cool too. But this is definitely the place for somebody who is an anthropology geek, because there's so much in there about it. And unfortunately, I just didn't have the patience to sit there and read a lot. So overall, for 85 pesos, it's a pretty good deal, and you definitely can see a lot of things and learn a lot. But yeah, I'm gonna head on into the Polanco area and check out some other things. Oh, I almost just tripped. And outside of the museum, I stopped to get a little snack. Got some, I don't even know what they are. The man described them to me, but they're spicy. Taste really good. And I think I'm gonna head into the Soumaya Museum, which is in the Polanco area, but it's gonna take some time to walk to. And I want to get some food, so check in with you when I get some food. So it's about a 45-minute walk or so to the next museum that I'm going to. This museum, I believe, is free, but man, this Polanco area is very nice, very upscale, very trendy, and a little too nice looking for me, I think. I don't want to eat at any of these restaurants as they look really fancy. I'm underdressed, so I'm in search to find some cheap food, I guess. I mean, just look, there's an Apple store, there's a Tesla store, lots and lots of, I don't know, stores for the rich. See, there's even a Rolex store, a Dolce & Gabbana. Fancy. Ain't looking to kill my whole bank account here. No, but the area is really nice, and it kind of reminds me of some cities in the United States, like Miami, for instance. There's a lot of trendy stores and really nice design to the neighborhood. Not for me. I'm at the Soumaya Museum here, and right before I came here, I just stopped at this place to grab a crepe. I got a salty crepe, so it's the name of it's called Queso Oaxaca, or Queso Oaxaca. So it's supposed to be a crepe that is flavored and filled with the style of Oaxaca. So let's see how this tastes. So this crepe place is right across the street from the museum, and I was so tempted to buy street tacos again, but I saw this place and it looked really good. And this is the Queso Oaxaca. See how it tastes. That is a lot of cheese. Oh my god. It's just a crepe and cheese. Phenomenal. Now, they are cooking so many different style crepes, like sweet ones and salty ones. This one took a while though, because of that cheese. It took forever to melt. He kept rechecking it to see if it had melted yet. Well, it's pretty good. A little basic snack, and it only costs 43 pesos, so a little something around $2. I think it needs some sort of sauce or something though, because it's a little dry with just cheese. But this will have to do for a while. It's just incredible. This thing is so thick. That's enough cheese for 3 days, that's for sure. Man, my feet are destroyed from walking so much. I'm gonna finish this crepe here and then head inside to the museum to check it out and see what else happens today. Okay, well, I've just left that fancy museum. It was free to enter and it was pretty cool. There's a lot of artwork in there, very different from the Anthropology Museum, and definitely worth checking out as it is free. Now, my legs are pretty much shot. I've done a lot of walking the past couple days, and I think I'm gonna end the video there as I've pretty much covered a lot of the area in the historic center and then over to the Polanco area here where we were able to see the two museums. So that's gonna be it for this video, and I'll catch you guys in the next one. Peace. I'm definitely in need of a bathroom. I haven't seen any public bathrooms in a while, and I'm hoping to find one because, man, I feel like my bladder's gonna explode from that coffee. That's not going in there. I'm gonna finish this real quickly, and then I'm gonna get into that museum, and then see. All right.